Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host, and it is Wednesday, July the 23rd. We are just a couple of days away from the weekend, finally. So, we do have a lot of news to get into today. First, I want to thank you if you're tuning in on our website or through our mobile app. We appreciate you. And if you are watching on any of our social streams, thank you for tuning in there. You can always leave a comment, question, thought, suggestion, or anything like that in the comment section. And let me know where you're watching from. But we do appreciate you. So before we jump into the news, let's take a look outside right now. Over Ridgeland, courtesy of our Renaissance Skycam. They're looking a little cloudy out there. So you can actually see the shadow moving across the ground from the clouds right now. We did get a little bit of rain, at least here at the news station here at WLBT a little bit ago, but not a widespread chances of rain. If there is going to be rain, it's going to be spotty. So let's go ahead and get into the news now. Some breaking news that we have for you that we were just given the information on here at WLBT, and that's where a man in Mississippi is suspected of digging up a grave and stealing jewels from the corpse that was in the grave. So this man is believed to have done this. Holmes County Sheriff Willie March says that they received a call Tuesday evening from a man that was visiting a loved one's grave. While there, he noticed that a grave had been tampered with. So the cemetery in question is located at the Second Pilgrim Rest Missionary Baptist Church in Durant. And if you see here where the church is located, it's on Riverdale Ranch Road. And if we zoom in, you can see the cemetery here, courtesy of Google Maps here. So me pull back out so you can see just exactly where this is on the map. We have I-55 right here, and this church is just north of the town of Durant here. So, but that is where this has happened at. So deputies arrived on scene there and discovered that not only had the grave been dug up, but that the casket itself was busted around the top. So the sheriff believes that the suspect may have been taking jewelry from the corpse since the bottom of the casket was not messed with. He also doesn't understand why it was this grave that was specifically targeted in this. The sheriff's department did reach out to the family to see if they wanted the remains exhumed. He said that also that the smell was so horrid that they just wanted to cover it back up. Now, one thing we don't have information on yet, which we are seeking to get clarity on, is how long the grave had been there. How long had the deceased person been buried, and who is the person's name, if they even will pass that information along, and also what type of jewels were stolen. Do they know that information yet? These are all details that we are working to get clarification on, and we will bring those to you as soon as we get them both on air and online. But again, this happened in Durant, Mississippi, where a thief is suspected of digging up a grave and stealing jewels from the corpse. It was at Second Pilgrim Rest Missionary Baptist Church there in Durant. And we are working to get all the details, and we will pass those along to you when we get those. And then we also have an update on the two teens who were arrested following a shooting that happened in Star, Mississippi. We brought this to you last week. I believe it was last Thursday that we first reported on this happening. So we've learned more about the shooting incident, the nature of the relationship between the victim and the suspects, and we've also learned what may have been the motive for the shooting. So the individuals who were arrested in this shooting are right here. We have Ariana Garrett, age 18 of Florence, and Ladarius Harrison, age 17 of Brandon. So they both have been arrested in connection with this case. So according to the Rankin County Sheriff's Department, the shooting happened on Eddie Williams Drive in the Star community. Rankin County deputies responded to the scene, and when they did, they found the victim suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was transported to UMMC, where they were listed as in stable condition at the time of this release of information to us. So the victim in this case is the brother of the suspect, Ariana Garrett, the female on the screen here, in the yellow towards your left side of the screen. So at the time of the incident, it was reported to us by the Rankin County Sheriff's Department that Ariana Garrett and Ladarius Harrison, the two suspects, were in a romantic relationship with each other, boyfriend and girlfriend. The motive for the shooting appears to be linked to a verbal altercation between Garrett and her brother. So the female in this case allegedly got into a verbal altercation with her brother. At the end of that altercation, Garrett, the female, contacted Harrison, the male on your screen, and called him. He then drove to the residence and shot her brother multiple times and then fled. So Garrett also fled the scene of the shooting, and she went to a nearby abandoned mobile home instead of rendering aid to her brother, according to the Rankin County Sheriff's. So Harrison was later located and arrested on Cherry Bark Drive near the reservoir in Brandon. Ariana Garrett has been charged with conspiracy to commit a felony. Her bond was set at $100,000, and her boyfriend, Harrison, here on the screen, has been charged with attempted murder and will be prosecuted processed as an adult. His bond has not been set at this time. But we've learned those details in this shooting, that essentially a brother and a sister got into an argument. The sister called her boyfriend. Of course, we don't know what was said in that phone conversation. The sister called her boyfriend. Her boyfriend came over to her home and ended up shooting her brother multiple times. So we will, of course, keep you updated on the story, bringing you the latest information as we receive it here. And a suspect is behind bars this morning after being accused of shooting a man in the face in Canton and killing him. So police say that 33-year-old James Ross is now charged with shooting and killing Troy Waldrop at an apartment complex. It's James on the left side of your screen, Troy on the right. So the Canton Police Chief Otha Brown says that the shooting happened Saturday night at the Camden Park Apartments on Parkview Drive. According to Brown, Ross was waiting for his ex-girlfriend to arrive home from a party with her uncle, Waldrop. After arriving, an argument erupted between the two, and as a result, police say Ross shot Waldrop one time in the face, and they are working to find out exactly what led to that deadly encounter.
This makes our third murder for the city of Canton, and we're just not gonna tolerate anything like that's going on. I'm glad that we was able to get him off the street, and now the family can get some closure and just wait till today to come to trial and just go on from there.
The Waldrop's family is currently waiting for his body to be released from the crime lab, and then once that happens, they will start to make the funeral arrangements. Looking here at our social stream, got a lot of you guys tuning in. Just want to say hey to you real quick. We have Britt here. Hey, Britt, how are you? Saying hello to everyone. Happy Wednesday. Louise is tuning in from Louisville. Sandra Cagle is watching and getting ready for a Hattiesburg day trip. We'll have fun with that. Then, of course, we have a lot of people who are responding to the story that we first brought you, breaking news story of the Mississippi man who is suspected of digging up a grave and stealing jewels from the corpse. Brandy Whitfield says, Lord have mercy. Joyce says, oh my goodness. And Letitia says, so very sad. Very, very, very true, guys. Ken Bull's at work and he says, this is crazy. Yes, it's very, very crazy. So crazy story, which we will continue to bring you updates on. We also brought you an update yesterday from the Blossom County, I'm sorry, the Blossom Hill Apartments. Uh, Blossom Apartments, rather. We told you several months ago about how the owner of the apartment complex had a very large outstanding bill with Jackson Water. We were looking at different apartment complexes that had these outstanding bills, and we told you about this one at Blossom. Well, yesterday we reported on a current or former resident of the apartment who was evicted, and she felt like she was evicted in retaliation for speaking up regarding the issues there and the lack of the water bill being paid. And of course, at the time that we reported that story yesterday and we had reached out to Jackson Water, we were told that the bill had not been paid, that it was still outstanding, that there were no payment arrangements being kept or made payments on, and that the apartment complex still had a very large water bill. Well, we have learned today that the water has been cut off after at that apartment complex. So that has been confirmed with us. So, of course, turned off after the owner had failed to pay his bill. So, interim third party manager Ted Hennepin confirmed with us that the water at Blossom Apartments has been turned off. And he said for the water to get turned back on, the owner, Tony Little, must pay the full past due amount of a little more than $400,000. Hennepin said the last time he made a partial payment, went on a payment plan, but never paid again. So he has to pay his bill. He also told us that they reached out to the owner on July the 8th, informing him to set up a payment plan or the utility would suspend their service. And they say that he never responded. And of course, the water was cut off today. There are about 72 individual apartments there at Blossom Apartments that are affected by this water shut off. We did contact the owner, to attempt to contact the owner, and we have not yet been able to get a statement on him. But this is a very sad situation coming from Blossom Apartments, where these residents are depending on the owners of the apartment complex to do what they are supposed to do regarding taking care of the property, making sure the bills that they provide or the utilities they provide are being paid for. And now these apartments are without water today because the owner of the apartment complex has not paid his bill. So again, as they said at Jackson Water, in order for the amount to, or the water to get turned back on, they would have to pay a little more than $400,000 in past due water charges. That is the full amount that is due. So we will continue to follow this story as well and bring you updates on that. But that is breaking news that just came out just within the past 10 minutes. And you can read the full story on our website, but not yet. Wait until we're done here. All right. But yeah, we will continue to follow that for you guys for 100% and update you on air and online with that story. And going to North Mississippi, where bond has been denied for a man accused of killing a missing woman in Lawrence County. So the man in question here is Charles Sims on the right side of your screen. He's charged with first-degree murder in the death of Laditra Williams. Deputies believe they found her body in the rural part of the county after Sims led them there. So we are now hearing from one of the agents who helped to recover her body. The man Charles Sims, he was in court yesterday. He was denied bond in court, charged again with first-degree murder. And the body was found about a quarter mile into a wooded area in Lawrence County. The Mississippi State University actually paid a played a very big part in the recovery of the body. MSU has what they call a forensic recovery unit, and it's made up of about 15 people who assist in crime scene investigations, especially when it comes to looking for and identifying human remains. So, the Forensic Recovery Unit is made up of MSU police, along with faculty, staff, and students in the anthropology department. By using their research, equipment, and expertise, the team prides itself on doing whatever it takes to solve these cases. And the type of help that they provide differs depending upon what is needed in the investigation.
So if it is remains that are found scattered across the field, they'll ask us, is this human or non-human remains? Are these animal bones or these human bones? If it's something a little more extensive like a burial or potential burial, can you help us find that burial? Can you use the techniques that we have? So for example, ground penetrating radar, we have available equipment like that to look to see if there's any depressions or anything that's inconsistent with the soil around it to indicate a burial. And then also just our archaeological background and how do we dig and excavate and try to maintain the crime scene and find those remains in a timely fashion.
The Forensic Recovery Unit was officially created back in 2022, and so far they have helped to solve 6 missing person cases. Coming to our social stream here, talking about the tenants and the water being shut off at Blossom Apartments. Willie here, he says, "At what stage are you not a victim? Lord help us." It is a very sad situation for the tenants there. Britt says, it's very crazy. I wonder, can the tenant sue the property manager who was responsible for paying the bill? And also, Letitia said that she would sue, said I would sue him. And I mean, I'm sure that they could. However, the legal process for that would take so long that they need assistance quickly to get their water cut back on. I'm not exactly sure of what their next step is in this process. Rex said, good thing here. Rex says the owner is in jail. Don't imagine he has anything to get if he was sued. So, Rex, I believe that here you are thinking about the owner of Chapel Ridge Apartments, which we have reported on. And the owner of Chapel Ridge Apartments is currently in jail in another state for charges in another state. This is a different apartment complex, and I have it pulled up on the map for you guys here. So this is Blossom Apartments here in Jackson. You can see we've got Woodbine Street here, the apartment complex, and if we zoom out, let me show you where it is in relation to about downtown Jackson. I went too far. So it is a little south of Jackson. Blossom Apartments down here in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And then, of course, we have downtown Jackson right here in this area towards the top middle of your screen. So the man who owns these apartments, Tony Little, he is not in jail, but the owner of Chapel Ridge Apartments is. Rex says, my bad. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm glad that I was able to see your comment and pass that info along to you. So again, at the Blossom Apartments, the water has been shut off. It's about 72 units there affected by this. And in order for it to get cut back on, according to Jackson Water, the owner, Tony Little, would have to pay more than $400,000, which is the total past due amount of the water bill there. So coming here, staying here in Jackson, I apologize. Here in Jackson, I had an update on a deadly shooting that happened back in 2022. So this man here on your screen, Jaquantis McGee, is convicted of killing Wendell Knowles outside a Jackson gas station just over 3 years ago. So according to Jackson police, the shooting sparked from an argument between the two about $5 that the victim owed to this man here on the screen. Well, he did plead guilty to second-degree murder and will now face 22 years in prison with 12 of those years suspended. Total, no, I apologize. he was sentenced to 34 years in prison without possibility for early release or parole, with 12 years suspended. So he is looking at spending 22 years in jail. But this happened again. The shooting happened in 2022 at a Jackson gas station, over $5. And we told you about Jackson police looking for some illegal dumping suspects a couple of days ago. Well, they have caught some more illegal dumping suspects on camera, and they are asking for your help in identifying them. So here is the video footage from the security cameras that Jackson Police has set up. This happened on Kingswood Place, July the 12th. So surveillance camera caught these two men dumping furniture from the back of a truck. This is surveillance then from Green Hill Place on July the 5th, and you can see the man here dumping mattresses from the trailer. Well, if you can help to identify any of the men here that are involved that you see here on your screen, you are asked to please contact Jackson Police or Crime Stoppers and pass that information along to them. Again, this one right here, this happened on Kingswood Place, July the 12th. They're dumping some furniture, a couch, it looks like, dumping that on the side of the road. And this incident right here is from Green Hill Place on July the 5th. And this individual is dumping mattresses from the back of the trailer there. So if you have any information on who they are, contact Crime Stoppers or the Jackson Police Department. And 3 on Your Side has received multiple emails from some of you. Some residents and businesses located in or near the DeVille Plaza Shopping Center are complaining about some ongoing sewage issues there. So here's a map of where the shopping plaza is located, right off of I-55 near Canton Mart Road. So the Real McCoy thrift store there has been at its DeVille Plaza location for over a year. However, the store has experienced frequent sewage issues since January. Most recently, the store could not open because of a raw sewage backup this past Saturday, which is their busiest day of the week. While this latest backup has been temporarily resolved, employees believe that more needs to be done. Susie Foote is a board member and a volunteer at the thrift store, and she says multiple businesses are impacted by these issues.
Our landlords need to be advised that they need to take care of us. And this is not just here in the store. This is next door on this side. This is next door on this side. And it is a broken pipe outside that is causing all this trouble.
So Foote estimates that the store has already spent at least $10,000 out of pocket for plumbing fees. The store serves many people in the community, and Foote hopes that they can continue to do that and that these issues will be resolved. All right, well, before we take a look at our weekly Fight the Blight for here in Jackson, and also looking at our weather forecast, an abbreviated version of our weather forecast, we're going to hear from our sponsors at Jackson Water.
At Jackson Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. Jackson Water. Water for all the time.
And again, thank you to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. Well, our weather forecast is hot. All right, that is what the forecast is, but let me give you a little bit more details on how hot it is. So our current temperatures outside are sitting in the upper 90s here in Jackson, which sounds hot and horrible to begin with. But when we look at what our heat indices is right now, it may be 96, but it feels like 107. 107 degrees outside is what our heat index is here in Jackson. We are under a extreme heat warning across the majority of our viewing area. Actually, looking here at all the counties, which we have this information listed on our website, it's just about every county within our viewing area, and actually a lot of Mississippi is involved in these extremely hot temperatures. We are actually under a first alert weather day because of the extreme heat warning. So if we look at our current radar, you can see where there's a little bit of rain in the area. We have some rain that is over in Neshoba and Lauderdale County, which should make for a lot of fun for Neshoba County Fair, which kicks off in a couple of days. That rain, I believe, was just over our area. It's not that much. We do have some down in Pike County as well. Again, the chances of rain are not that much if we look over the next 12 hours, about what we could expect for a summertime day. 20% chance of rain, especially as we move into the afternoon and overnight hours. And then our 7-day forecast, we do have an increased chance of rain Friday and Saturday, but those temperatures are staying up and continuing to stay up even into next week. If you look at next Monday and Tuesday, the high 97 and 98, getting close to that 100-degree mark. Now, surprisingly enough, we have not yet hit 100 degrees, being mid-July, actually almost the end of July here in Mississippi. We usually have by now. So surprisingly enough, we have not. However, that 100-degree mark could very well happen over the next week, and the heat indices and heat index values are expected to continue to stay up. Be here at 2:30 for our first alert weather team as they give you the full details on your forecast, and they will be able to, of course, do it much more eloquently and proper than I can, but that is an abbreviated version of your forecast there.
Now, Fight the Blight, a year-long investigation from WLBT. 3 on your side.
And as I said, this is part of our year-long investigation weekly that we are doing here at WLBT, where we are looking at the blighted areas and communities within the city limits of Jackson, hoping by shining a light on these areas that it will possibly spark some change, positive change moving forward, which is kind of what the story this week is about, is some positive change, positive things that are happening here. So an out-of-state investor of sorts is improving the quality of lives by renovating some apartments with help from her Mississippi family. So Jessica Williams has roots in the Metro Jackson and is a real estate developer tackling blight here in our community. The real estate investor nearly passed on the Sunray Drive apartments when she learned that it had foundation problems. But weeks later, she decided to take on the challenge. She's a Los Angeles native and Raytheon IT operations director. She took the plunge in funding the transformation of these 8 units. The foundation has been repaired. Both buildings have been refurbished with new paint, new tile, appliances, washers and dryers, and a surveillance system, but she says she did not do it alone.
My mother is actually from here, and my mother had moved back a few years ago when my grandpa had got very ill, and she was telling me about, she's like, you need to come here. We put quality material in them, and we focus on the aesthetics as well as the safety of our residents.
One thing the developer struggles with is illegal dumping, as so many other areas across Jackson struggle with illegal dumping on the vacant lot across the street from the units. She pays to have debris hauled away from there. Williams hopes the city will, of course, do its part to help with vacant properties and blight. And if you have a blighted area within the city of Jackson that you would like for us to take a look at, or a story that you think lines up with our Fight the Blight series, you can go to our website, WLBT.com, and here is the website here. Right here at the top of the page, you can click on Fight the Blight, and that will bring up a form for you to fill out. Tell us about the eyesore, give us the information. We will receive that, and if it is something that we can do a story on or we need more information on, we will reach out to you for that. But again, that is on our website, WLBT.com. So this weekend here in Jackson, a big outdoor event is returning to the Mississippi Trademark. It is the Mississippi Ag and Outdoor Expo. So you can check out all kinds of vendors and exhibits featuring the great outdoors, and you can see some of those here, that items that will be offered. There's also going to be other attractions there like dock dogs, snake handlers, and mechanical bull riding. I'll let the snake handlers be the ones to handle the snakes there. So this expo begins on Friday and goes through Sunday, and kids 5 and under do get in for free there. And tomorrow is your last day, or your last chance rather, to win an additional prize in the St. Jude Dream Home giveaway. If you buy your tickets by tomorrow, your name will be entered into a drawing to win a round of golf for 4 and a $250 restaurant gift card from the Beau Rivage Resort and Casino. So supporting the St. Jude Dreams Home isn't just a chance for you to win this beautiful home in Flowood and some other awesome prizes, but it also gives you the chance to help save lives. Every ticket that you buy helps St. Jude researchers find cures, apologize for that, help find cures for childhood cancer and other life-threatening diseases.
I help to develop and to run these early phase studies for patients. And so when I meet patients, I'm also often bringing something that was developed here in our labs and kind of walking it right across the street and helping to explain that to a patient and family who may be receiving that treatment for the very first time.
So at our last check, the more than 9,000 tickets have been sold for this huge house located in the Bristol Crossing subdivision in Flowood. The tickets are $100 a piece. You can go get your ticket or 10 tickets by going there or by visiting our website at wlbt.com. You can find all the information on the home, on the extra prizes that are being given away, and just look at the progress of the home as it is being built and get the information for that. Again, that's on our website, wlbt.com. But that is it for WLBT Plus today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Our First Alert Weather team will be here at 2:30 to give you an in-depth look at your forecast. So make sure you are here with them then. I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.